Good morning. I'm Hazel Jarvis. It is a freezing day today, so today we will paint preserved lemons and dream of the warm south.
Actually, not preserved lemons, just regular lemons. And here is our inspiration picture. And this is what you'll need, and I'm using the Kuretake 36 watercolors.
So the first thing you want to do is start with a light sketch, and to make my life easy, I'm going to cut out a template for the bowl. This template is much too big for my page. I'm using a 12 by 9, so I'm going to trim it down. So my bowl is about 6.5 inches, but you don't have to be too exact, and it has a nice flared shape. And I make life very simple, so I just draw lightly around it. Once I have my bowl in, I can draw in my lemon, and I want the lemon to come up and over the rim. Try to keep your drawing as light as possible. And now we'll put in some cloth, and we'll put in some cloth behind it. We don't worry too much about the folds. And we'll put in some cloth in front of it. And you'll gently erase these crossover lines. I want to imagine that I'm in the kitchen and I have a window here, so I'm just going to draw in the shape of the window. So Pantone has decided that 61 periwinkle is the colour of the year, so we're going to put in our background in periwinkle. And you always want to do the largest areas first. While you still have the periwinkle on your brush, you're just going to paint in your bowl. You start at one side, you paint it in, and then with clean water you pull the colour gently across the bowl. With the periwinkle still, we're going to grey it down by adding a little bit of burnt sienna, and we're going to paint inside the bowl. And with this same colour, we'll put in a little bit of the windowsill. You can take advantage of the fact that the bowl is still wet by just touching in a little bit of extra blue. If everything is dry, you can mix up a puddle of orange, number 33, and burnt sienna, 46, and start painting in the fabric. Just be sure you've got a nice big puddle so you don't run out. Now at this point you have to make a decision about what sort of landscape you want through the window. You could do a wonderful Moroccan landscape with, say, a desert and warm colours, or you could do a snowy landscape because it's January and it's jolly cold outside. It's totally up to you. I'm going to do a cold, snowy landscape because our next week's unit is going to be winter landscapes. So I'm going to divide it like that, and I'm going to paint in a nice dark sky. While my sky is still wet, I'm going to smudge in a tree line. Hopefully everything is dry enough so you can paint in your lemons. And I love this clear, strong yellow, this number 40. As the lemon turns over so that it casts its own shadow, I go into this darker yellow.
The darker yellow is my other favourite, and it's the number 43.
So now we'll go into the inside of the lemon and we'll just paint in the segments of the lemon. And we'll leave lots of white space to suggest that the light is shining off the little parts of the lemon. So we have all the basic areas established, and now we can have some fun. We'll go to the landscape. We'll take a darker brown colour and we'll start to put in some trees in the foreground. And you definitely don't want your trees to go straight up. You want them in conversation, some close together, some further apart. When you have the trunks, you're going to turn your page, knock off most of the extra paint on your brush, and pull out some branches. And then with a thin brush and a cool blue, you'll do these late afternoon shadows. So we're working still with the brown and the blue, and we are going to go darker in, and we're going to just define our lemons a little bit more. And we'll warm up this mix with a tiny touch of purple, and we'll do the rim of the bowl. And when doing this, I think it helps to know that it doesn't have to be one continuous line. You can break it and start again. And we'll put some pattern on this gorgeous bowl too. So we'll make the foot just a little bit darker. And it's basically a loose sort of floral pattern, with this being a center flower and this being a leaf pattern around it. And again, you want to leave lots of white, and you can see how the painting starts to come alive once you put in the darks. I take some very, very pale purple and I put in some shadow under this lemon.
And we're going to put in a little bit of shadow in the folds of the fabric.
So I'm bothered by the fact that these are the same height. I possibly should have put another one in. So to add interest to the height and fill in this area, I'm going to put in some of the net bag. I'm going to make the bag brown rather than yellow so it shows up. Much more interesting. Now all we have to do is add the pattern to the cloth. You can pencil this on if you like, or you can just freehand it. It's totally up to you. It doesn't have to stick too closely to the cloth. Just note that where there are folds, the pattern should also have a corresponding jump. So I hope you've enjoyed part 3 of Still Life, and I can't wait to see what you do.